Welcome to the Arts to Hearts podcast, a show where we take a peek into the hearts and lives of our favorite artists. From running a creative business and practice to mindset, we talk about everything that goes behind into making a life and a career that you adore as an artist. Think of this as your happy hour with your favorite artist in your studio. Hear them share the messy and the wonderful side of creating and living a creative, heartfelt life within and outside our studios. As you tune in, be ready to be inspired and encouraged. I'm your host, Charuka Arora, an artist, designer, entrepreneur, and founder of Arts to Hearts project. Thank you so much for being here. Let's jump right in. Before we dig into this episode, I quickly wanted to remind you about a new call for art entries. The theme for this open call is Dreamland, and this online exhibit will be curated by none other than Ekaterina Espapova, curator, artist, and founder of Create Magazine and Art Queens. And definitely, it's not a new fact that you know how much I love her. The deadline to submit for this open call is September 8, 2021. Selected participants will be a part of an online exhibition hosted on www.arts2heartsproject.com. A few artists will be a part of a special podcast with me, Charuka Arora, and Katerina. A few selected participants will also be featured on Create Magazine's Instagram account with a reach over 180k followers. So you guys, this is so much. I mean, there's so much visibility that we've tried to put in this opportunity, and I'm sure if you know Create Magazine and the work that they're doing, you would know how much this sounds, how good this sounds. So you can find all the details and submit on www.arts2heartsproject.com/submit or find the link in the description below. And if you still don't know about Kat, well, you can listen to the promo of this open call published on the podcast, and you can also actually should check out the interview I had with Kat, and where she spoke about community, expansion, business, entrepreneurship, and everything else. The episode with Kat is episode number 5. So you can go check it out. So if you're a dreamer like me and Kat, and your work resonates with this theme of a dreamland, don't miss this opportunity. You can go submit again www.arts2heartsproject.com/submit, and we hope to see your submissions. Please reach out to us on Instagram at Arts to Hearts Project, or if you want to reach out to me, you can find me on Instagram at Charuka Arora. If for any queries and questions that you have, I can't wait to see your work, and I can't. Thank you. Bye. Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Arts to Hearts podcast. This is your host, Charuka Arora. I am so excited to have a very dear friend and an artist and an amazing person here with me today. I got her on the podcast. I definitely wanted to get her on the podcast for quite a while, but finally we were able to make this possible today. There's so much that I want to talk to her because recently there's so much that's happened in her art career, in everything that she's been doing. And I'm sure you must know her. And if you don't know her yet, this is your chance to know Carmen Mendoza. Carmen is an LA based artist. She is a textile sculpture artist, I think. I'll hand it over to Carmen to introduce herself. So, welcome to the podcast, Carmen.
Hey, Charuka, thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you for
So
coming. Me too. I'm so excited to have you here today. Carmen, I of course know you. I know a lot of people who would be listening to this podcast would know you, but let's just say for the sake of it, can you introduce yourself, who you are and what you do?
Sure. I'm Carmen Mardónez. You changed my last name. I'm not gonna forgive you.
You know, I had to ask you something and I forgot that. I needed to ask you a pronunciation. I'm not going to say that word now.
It's okay. I'm from Chile. I moved to Los Angeles 4 years ago, and when I moved, I started my art career here. So I'm a emerging baby art textile artist. I use discarded intimate textiles for my art pieces. mostly sheets and pillows. And I'm also a mom. My kid is almost 4 years old.
Okay, amazing. So you moved 4 years ago from Chile to Los Angeles. I really want to go back. I mean, I definitely want to talk about this move because I know for a fact that as an immigrant, there's so much that we've always spoken about women, our experiences in growing in our countries, and patriarchy, feminism, and so many more things. And I really want
Yeah,
to get into all of those things, your experience growing up, because I do feel that like things that we've always spoken about, there is so much similarity between my own experience growing up in India and your experience growing up in Chile.
yeah.
But let's start from the beginning. Let's start from how was your childhood? Let's Where were you born in Chile, and how was it growing up there for you?
Uh, yeah, good question. I was born in Chile 33 years ago in Santiago, the capital. I'm the oldest for, I have 9 siblings.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, I mean, we
This
are
is new
nine.
to me.
I have 8 more siblings. For
That is
them,
amazing.
yeah, we are 8 women and one boy who is in the
Oh
middle.
my god, I am mind. Oh my god, that is. Oh my god.
Yeah, so it was a female family. Because I was the oldest, of course, I had a lot of responsibilities. I was always taking care my siblings. I, as I told you, I'm 33, and my youngest sister is almost 13 years old.
Oh my
So there's
god.
a huge gap between.
Yeah.
I was going to the university, changing diapers at the same time.
Oh,
Um, so it was like a
amazing.
super loudly, um, I don't know, with a lot of kids, like
Yeah, of course.
the
9 is a
whole
lot of
house.
kids.
Exactly, exactly. I think that my whole family is really artsy, so we were
Oh
like
wow.
always like drawing, painting, I don't know, making craft, and also reading a lot.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
we for a lot of years, I we didn't have like TV because
Yeah,
my parents didn't like it. So craft and books were like,
your
uh,
friends.
exactly, exactly.
Amazing. How is it? I mean, 9 siblings is a lot of siblings.
It is.
Are all your siblings in Chile right now, or are they
Yeah,
also
my whole family is in Chile, the same as
and
my partners.
oh wow, and it's just you in LA.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so I know that you studied in Chile as well, and you grew up, of course, like since you moved 4 years ago. Most of your studies was there. Most of your growing up years, I mean, almost till you're 29, you were there in Chile. How was your experience growing up in Chile been, and how has that impacted your work? I don't want to give up. I mean, I want you to talk about all of that. But my question is direct, if I put it more accurately, is about the relationship between growing up in Chile and women.
I grew up in Spanish, not in English.
Okay.
But I don't think that growing up in Chile was too different than growing up in the US. Like, our
Okay.
culture is kind of similar. Maybe Chile is not as rich as the US, but it's like
Yeah.
it has like a stable economy and everything. So, and in a privileged family. So I
Yeah.
went to a girls' school, a Catholic one, and yeah, I feel really privileged about the way that I grew up. But yeah, I mean, definitely how I was raised, it has a lot, uh, a huge relation with what I'm doing now, because I went, as I told you, to a Catholic girls' school when I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know, mm, le- less than 10 years old. I was I was learning how to sew, how to cook, how to embroidery, and not in a artsy way, more in a like what a woman should know to be like a good woman.
Yeah.
I was, I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
menstruate and I was embroidering tiny dresses. Like it were not for me because they were
Yeah.
too small. It were for babies.
Oh my God.
For me, when I like go back to that moment, of course, what I think is like I was embroidering dresses for my future babies, and I was
Yeah.
teaching how to cook to my future husband because nobody expect in that moment a woman to live by herself.
Yeah.
So I definitely and also because I was the oldest for a huge and conservative family,
Yeah.
I was always the caregiver, the one
Yeah.
who was like taking care of the youngest and like postponing myself.
Yeah.
I think that a lot. So my when we moved to the US because my husband was starting a PhD, when he was like applying for the PhD, we realized that we were pregnant and we didn't expect that. My
Yeah.
plan was to came to the US and probably like learn more, like practice more my English and then like start
Yeah.
working in other field, not art. But when I
Art.
realized that I was pregnant, so I was like going to the US with a newborn,
Yeah.
I decided to give a shot to my like art, that it was like a dream that I had, but I never was enough brave to try to be. And I think that this is really important because one of the big feelings when I realized that I was pregnant, it was like I don't want to become the
Yeah.
woman
The
that I was
same.
raised for. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to
Yeah.
be like just a mom. I
Yeah.
really
I can know.
like mostly all of the women of my family, like my aunts, my mom, my
Yeah.
grandmas, they were staying at home moms, and of course I'm really grateful because
They raised you.
yeah, they raised me, but at the same time I didn't want to be.
Yeah. And I think it's completely, I can so agree to everything that you're saying because that is exactly how it is in India. And I've told you a lot of times about the same thing. We've had this conversation a lot of times.
Yeah.
We're just having this again here.
Mhm.
But yeah, in India, similarly, even like that's how the whole culture is also put together. I mean, even if you go in schools, there's this cooking option that would like that girls would take, athletics boys would take, and girls are meant to be crafty. And I've talked about this a lot of times, like I always thought like I was creative. I was always a very creative person. I spent most of my time alone in my room creating something, but it never felt that there was something different I had. It was just something that I thought everyone was creative. And because it was also like, for women, you have to be crafty and like you
Exactly.
make things and boys play things. And again, like I think, I don't know. I mean, ever since we've growing up, you are always sold this idea of being married to a nice boy, a nice family, to be a nice daughter-in-law, to be a nice
Yeah.
wife, to be a nice mother. And I think I wouldn't even deny the fact that while growing up, I was sold to this idea and I thought that is it. This is what my life is going to be.
Hmm.
Only later in life, I think, when I actually started growing up and I saw what the possibility could be, because I think exposure is the biggest. If you don't know there's another way, you can never see there's another way, or you're not forced to try something else. And for me, I think the reason was I was not very happy with the way women are treated generally in our societies, and it's a very subtle way of um a very subtle abuse, I would say. It's not abuse, I don't know what word to use, but it's very subtle. It's ingrained so much, so deeply, and I
Mhm.
just did not want to be a part of that. I felt like I wanted to get out of the system, um, my small town and everything, and I wanted to go out and see what's there. And the moment I stepped out of my house, I realized everything changed. So yeah, sometimes, I mean, we are sold this idea, even when we're not even there yet, we're far away from that. And that's how we, like, do you think, like, did you have this retaliation towards this idea that you were being sold, and you saw your parents and your mothers and your grandmothers since the beginning, were like, when you had some sense, or did you also, like, while you were growing up, did you also believe that this is what your reality would be, and it only changed at some other point?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that after like I graduate for school and I was like thinking what should I study, I didn't think like too many options because the same
Yeah.
like, oh, wife, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get married, I'm gonna have
Married.
kids, and I'm done. And
Yeah.
I was not ambitious at all. Like,
Yeah. Oh my
yeah,
God. I'm
life,
with you on that.
life. And then so I went to the university to study history,
Okay.
not art history, history.
Oh my God.
And
I
yeah,
also studied history. I graduated in history.
really,
Yeah.
yeah, me too.
Oh my God.
That's
Amazing.
cool.
But don't ask me any history questions. I would be the worst ever. I was that bad. That bad.
Yeah, no, me too, definitely. I I met my husband there. He was
Okay.
from other city from the north, and we met there. He was and he is more feminist than me, and he was the one who like
Opened the
shaped
doors for
a
you.
little bit, yeah, and
Yeah.
open like, of course, him and my classmates, the idea that I have from myself about myself and about my my family and my, I don't know, group where I were grow up.
Yeah.
I think that 4 years when I was study history, like I start opening my mind about like my possibilities. But it took me like a couple of years to start like dreaming more about, or thinking, even not necessarily like dreaming, like what I want to do, what I want to be, like to become more ambitious about my own life. And I think that when I so I studied history, and then I did a master in psychology, and I was working before move to the US in one of the biggest universities in Chile. I was working with students and public institutions. So I was like
Yeah.
I was like guiding the students to work in these public institutions, and it was like really
Hmm.
satisfying. I really like it. But when we decided to move to the US for my husband to study, and I realized that I was pregnant, all my like my nightmares, like the things that I like you have in your gut and you don't
Yeah, they
really
came
think
true.
about it.
And like everything that they said became true.
Exactly, exactly. And that, I think that was like a really important point for me, like to realize that okay,
Yeah.
I never like dreamed
Yeah.
too much about myself. I was like always like, oh no, I don't care. I have like a good job. I don't want to be like get more responsibility or be or whatever. But when I realized that, oh my god, I'm becoming a mom, so I'm gonna be like at home my whole life, I was like, never mind. I have like so many ambitions. I want to become someone. So I want.
Yeah.
I have so many things to do. That moment when I realized that I was pregnant, it was like, never mind. It was a joke. My whole life, I panic, and
Oh
for
my,
a couple of months, I deeply panic, and
oh my
then
God.
I start dreaming, and after that, I'm keep dreaming. Like, okay, if I'm gonna be an artist, I'm gonna be like a big one. I want to show, not just like make art and sell my art. I want to show my
Yeah,
art, and hopefully in museums, and I want to do like site specific installations. And I can feel how my ambitions is growing and growing.
which is amazing, and I think it should never end. And we just need to keep watering that seed no matter how hard it gets, because I think that's something that also keeps us alive. Our dreams keep us alive no
Definitely.
matter how hard they are, no matter
Yeah.
how far away they feel. You found out you were pregnant, but you also, I think you not only conceived one baby, but you conceived two, because alongside your own baby, you were there was this birth of your own dreams and this passion that you I think we always have dreams. It's just we always need that one trigger that just forces us to act on them. For me, while growing up in India, like you said, women are generally housemakers. Even till today, I am probably the first person. I'm the first woman in my family who runs a business, who's done what I've done so far.
Hmm.
Because mostly the whole culture has been like, you study, you grow up, you study, you find a good boy, and you settle and you have kids. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but sometimes, but that's not what everyone wants. That's not what I wanted.
Hmm.
uh I wanted to experience things differently. I wanted to see the world, and I wanted to have a voice. And growing up, I felt that as a woman my voice never mattered, and that I felt suffocated as someone not being heard and seen. And I felt like I really wanted to do something. I wanted, and I did feel that being financially independent is one of the biggest ways to take a control of your own life. And I think that became my biggest trigger for keep moving forward, that I need to do something, I need to do something, I need to do something, because I want to have the control of my life in my hand and not in somebody's hand. I Now let's talk about your work. And you have your, let me just your your bio and about your work. It says that again, like how you were taught to sew, cook, and do all of the domestic stuff first versus anything else, and you use your work, your art, as a way of retaliation and expression. How did you Were you always making this kind? Can you describe the work that you make, so that people who are not familiar with that, they will know what you're talking about? And also, can you talk about how did you start making this work, and what kind of work were you making before?
I learned how embroidery before I was probably 10 years
Oh my
old,
god.
but I, of course, I stopped embroidery for so many years, and I restarted embroidering when I was writing my master thesis. I was also working, and I was like a little bit burned out. Um, and I discovered a Chilean textile artist, Victor Espinosa, who
Okay.
is, I can send you his
Yeah,
Instagram.
please send me.
So he is his embroidery style is, I learned it, my embroidery style I learned it for him. I
Okay.
I I discovered him through Facebook, and his work is amazing. Is different as mine, but yeah, his stitches like really long and freestyle, and the way that he works with colors, like it resonates to me so much. And I
Yeah.
contacted him, and he was like doing workshops, so I took one, like, I don't know, 3 hours workshop, and he showed me his work. I was able to see like directly and touch the work, and then he showed me the kind of needle that he used and how he used the threads, and that's all. And after that I started like after work, after the time that I spent writing, I was embroidering just to relax my mind.
Yeah.
And yeah, actually, this one was the first piece that I did. It's nothing. It was just like a play, but for me, it was so cathartic, was so relaxing. So I even when I graduate for my master, I like keep working, keep embroidering just for like a hobby. But my colleagues at my job, they love the pieces, so they start asking like if I can make some for them, and I start like selling my art, of course, like super cheap.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how all of us begin. There's
I know, yeah, they like they pay for the needles, and it was.
yeah, yeah,
So that's how I like restart embroidering. And I was doing like a big scale embroidery. When I moved to the US for the first year, I mean, we don't have family here, or we didn't have friends. So I was like, my husband was at school teaching and taking classes the whole day, and I was with my baby at that moment at home. So I was embroidering, but in a smaller scale, because I was
yeah.
afraid to like have the baby in my arms
Baby in
and
the
the
house.
needle
Yeah,
and everything. But I
yeah,
didn't like. I started embroidering and I didn't stop until now. At the beginning, I was embroidering mostly Northern Lights, and if
yeah.
you
I
go
know
to
that
my Instagram,
website.
like, or my website, you are gonna find like a lot of Northern Lights. For me, Northern Lights at that point were like a peaceful place,
Yeah,
like a colorful, peaceful place, and it was like my desire. Like I want to be there. Like this is how I want to
yeah,
feel, in a quiet, relaxed, peaceful, and be myself there. So yeah, I start when I realized to be an artist, I was like embroidering Northern Lights. But then Juan was growing. He was like starting to pull my threads,
threads.
and
Oh,
also,
yeah,
yeah, and also there's a lot of textile artists, of course, and there's a lot of
yeah,
artists who can embroidery.
yeah,
And small scale is a thing that, of course, each artist has her like style and everything. But I at that point I was like, maybe
mm,
everyone can do this, and if I want to be like an artist like who receive like
yeah,
recognize and everything, I need to push further. So I start like exploring again the freestyle and start like growing my scale as much as I can. And yeah, I know, I mean, right now I embroidery queen or king sheets, who are like full of sheets, sorry, full of threads. There are tons of miles of threads. When I finish one of the sheets, they are like really heavy. So my scale like grow a lot. I
yeah,
become like super freestyle, and the reason is my child. Now he's playing with my pieces when I'm working, or sometimes he's also like stitching with me. And if something happened, nothing happened to my piece, like it's
yeah.
not
He
like
becomes a part of it.
yeah, yeah. And he's not like a stressful
Yeah,
person in my studio, like I can work with him and we have so much fun, and have my kid and my art together is not, it's not stressful for me, which is
yeah,
really
yeah,
important because I work at home. So
yeah.
and during the day,
It's essential for
usually I
you.
don't work at night. So if
Yeah,
yeah, so that's how my art are being like
amazing,
developing. And for the last
amazing.
couple of months, I'm starting exploring sculptures. with sheets and with pillows.
Yeah.
For the same reason, like I'm more, yeah. Thank you. I'm so glad that you like
I
it.
love them.
Yeah, I'm keep.
I think your content game also, the kind of, like, we've known each other, I think, for the past 2 years now. And of course, I loved your work since the beginning. It was very different, and I love textiles. And I think another question that I have to ask, I'll remember. But yeah, before that. So, but in the past couple of months, I think I also told you this on Instagram, and I message you like, I'm falling in love with your work all over again every time you post something, because I can feel a big shift in your work. I can feel, especially in scale, definitely. Your colors have been beautiful since the beginning, but I think the strokes with the threads, they've become more and more freer, and they feel that, you can feel that ferociousness, you can feel that boldness within them. And I think even for you, your comfort with social media, I've seen that has just become much better. And the way you show your work now,
Mhm,
the scale versus the photographs, the videos, and I think all of those together have so well put together your work, and it's just doubled and tripled the impact of what you do.
mhm.
So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you. Yeah, you were really important in that process. Like, yeah, you were like pushing me, like, Carmen, you should more show more about you and your work and your process. So here I am. Thank you for
I'm so
your
happy to hear
inspiration.
that. You
And
are
yeah,
doing so good. And we're also going to talk about the art grants that you're killing, the shows that you're doing, all of those.
yeah, yeah. No, just one more thing. Like, of course, for everyone, like, and especially, but the COVID things and everything, like being locked down and being far
Yeah,
away from family, um are keep me sane. So I'm been
yeah,
working like so much during the last 2 years, like obsessively. Like I'm not I
yeah.
didn't I haven't stopped in 2 years embroidering.
Oh
and
my
and
God.
when I'm as much as I embroidery, I'm becoming like more ambitious about my work. I'm like, okay, what if I explore this
Yeah,
now? And because I'm working
yeah,
that much, like, I don't know, after a couple of
man.
weeks, I have like
It's also showing.
20 sheets, sorry, 20 pillows already embroidery. So it's like, okay, maybe I should move further because I, I mean,
You've
I'm
already
gonna
done
have
that.
my home like full of pillow. Should I like explore more the material or whatever? So yeah, I'm getting
Honestly, I
so
think the pillow sculptures of yours, I think as even as a viewer, they were they were like, for someone who's followed your journey for the past 2 years, they were a big breakthrough. I feel
Mhm.
I'm also seeing this one just now. I don't know, the one you have at Art Share LA, Defiance of Juncture. I think
Yeah.
when I saw this, I was in awe of it. It was just so gorgeous, the way I think your work has had so many elements in the past 2 years. You can see the freeness of the embroidery on the sheets, but you can also see that freeness on those sculptures, and they feel like you've really upped your game.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you like it.
Okay, another question, which is
Mhm.
quite common, especially, you are using a medium and a work which is very unfamiliar, uncommon, especially, because like, in the whole art world ecosystem, we know a lot of limitations and, like, things that we're always sold. Basically, my question is that when you thought you wanted to do this, did you have any ambitions or about the medium that you were doing, and how did you put your work out there? How was that process for you like?
Probably it was not that like tough for me because I
Okay.
didn't study art. So I don't have like, I was listening yesterday the Sarah Stever chapter,
Yeah.
talking with you, and she was like mention the professor that she has at college, and I didn't have
Yeah.
this professor because I
Yeah.
I I mean I was at art school for less than 2 years, and so I don't have in my mind those professors who say like, oh, like pillows are not an art material, like embroidery is for women at
Yeah.
home. Like I have some reference that I like it, and they inspire me in colors, in embroidery, on whatever, and then I'm like, okay,
Do this.
I want to be that mama, so what should I do? Let's explore sculptures and embroidery because I didn't see
Oh
this
my God.
until now. So I think that for me it's been not that hard in the in the way that I use the materials, or the materials that I use, because I don't have those ghosts like talking to me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
of course, I'm really, really grateful for that. Of course,
Yeah.
I have sometimes like people ask me like, "Hey, but your work is probably not archival," and of course it's
Yeah.
not. Like I'm using discarded sheet, discarded pillows.
Yeah.
Those are not archival. Like
Yeah.
no, but maybe because I study history before. Like for me,
Yeah.
materials and the way that they get old and everything is part of my art. I know that my threads in a couple of years they're gonna lose color, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. Like I can do. I mean, I'm using quality threads as much as I can, but even quality threads are gonna lose their colors, like especially cotton.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, I don't have those ghosts like talking to me and say, because it's not archival,
Yeah.
I don't think that is art. It's like I don't care. Like I think that's
Yeah.
amazing, and you are gonna see it and
That's
take a look.
amazing. That's amazing. I think that's so inspiring because I did not come from art school, but I let that thoughts come to me a lot of times because maybe I was around that environment and I heard them and I bought them. But yeah, I think I totally relate with you because when I started using a lot of embroidery materials in my own work, um, it came to my mind that, a lot of people ask me, what if something falls off? And I'm like, I'll stick it again.
Yeah,
I'll send you the glue that I use, but I also use a very like in India where I live here in Agra, we have a lot of artisans who work. So they have been using and making this glue for years now, and it is that something that they've been using in their own local practices. So it's something that they've been working on for years. I'm sure it survived for them. It's going to survive for me, and so far it's worked great. But yeah,
yeah,
I know at the end of the day, it's going something that you stick together may fall apart, of course. Now if there is that possibility always, and sometimes that, like, the same question, that is it archival, I'm like, I don't care anymore because I feel more compelled to make the work that I want to make. I really feel compelled to use this. Like, initially I felt too scared because it became too much of embroidery, and I felt like, is it getting too much of embroidery, is it less of art, is it less, I mean, I wouldn't deny I have had
mhm,
those thoughts a million times.
yeah,
And every time I have to recenter myself that um, this is what I want, this is what I want to do. I would, otherwise I would make my journey more painful. Rather, I'd just do what I enjoy more than anything else. And so I feel very inspired of you when you say that that you were so courageous in finding and having that belief in yourself that it did not matter what else everything else said or everyone else said. It has been amazing. You've shared some amazing stuff. My we have I want to ask one more question, which is, um In the last couple of months, I also spoke to you about this when we began. In the last couple of months, you've received a lot of grants. The all she makes grant, repaint history, which was the third one.
Yeah, not real art grant.
Not so large grants. And then you've been showing your work. You've been also not only showing, but you've also been expanding your work, like we spoke about right now. You've been um and I always wish, I feel so proud, and I feel so happy to see every little thing that you do. But I know that it's always not been like that, and we've also spoken about that. Let's talk about how has your experience been with getting these opportunities, and showing more of your work, and also applying. If you want to share something, of course there are so many failures that have gone into these successes, so that you want to share to people who are listening, that if they can take some advice from you.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. I feel like super honored, super happy to I get like so far three grants this year.
Yeah, that's a good
I'm
number.
Yeah, it is. My goal next year are four.
Oh my god, oh no, no,
I'm
it needs to
increasing
be
my
seven
number.
at
No,
least.
I'm joking. But one of the things that I have learned during the last years, because of course I'm spending money like applying to
Yeah,
articles and grants and everything. And at the beginning, I didn't know how to do that, so I was like applying to everything. But
yeah,
then I realized that I was losing money,
yeah.
and it was not worth it. And also, when you receive like a lot of
Lot of
rejections, it's super
rejections.
frustrated. So
Yeah,
I think that for the last 2 years, I'm becoming more picky when
yeah,
which what I'm applying.
yeah,
So I'm looking for grants or shows that I think that are gonna fit like perfectly with my work, because
yeah,
the medium, or because the title, or because the amount of money that the grants give.
yeah.
So I'm applying to less things,
Okay.
um, and I'm always like, when other artists share their wins, I always like checking. I don't know was where this what kind of grant this artist win, and who gave her this grant, etc. So I'm like taking notes, and I'm like saving those things. So of course I'm an emerging artist. I'm not gonna win
Yeah,
now or yet a
yeah, yeah.
$10,000 grant. I mean, it will be
You
amazing.
can
But
totally,
I mean, I'm planning to win that grant maybe next or in 2 more years. But no, but
but you start somewhere, definitely.
yeah, but I mean, I think that is super reasonable if it's a grant that is like $500, $2,000. That is something that is for emerging artists, that you are gonna
Yeah,
be running with artists that are in your same level. It
yeah,
doesn't say that you are gonna win, but I think it
yeah,
feels for me like more reasonable to apply. And also,
yeah,
so I'm trying to apply to things that I have an option to win. Of course,
yeah.
I'm receiving a lot of rejections. I didn't won all the grants that I applied this year,
Hmm.
but I won some of them. And
Yeah,
also, I think that one of the reasons, because I'm still applying to things, even when I think that is maybe too hard to get it or whatever. I'm always thinking in the jurors who are there. Like, if I like the juror, if I like the curator who is behind the show, like maybe he's or she's not gonna pick me this time, but I want to be
yeah,
in their in I want to have the possibility to show them my art.
sure.
um
Yeah, that's a great point.
so I mean, I'm trying to be reasonable in my applications, but also I'm sometimes I'm applying to things that I'm not gonna get, and I receive the
You are
rejection.
being strategic, which is great because that's
But I'm
how a
trying to
lot
be
of things need to
strategic.
be.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that that's really important. Like to try to play your cards as smart as you can. Like even with a small budget. I mean, we are. I'm not selling enough to pay my bills.
Yeah.
So I'm, and my husband is studying and working for UCLA, so it's like a super tight budget that we have.
Yeah.
But still, like I'm trying to be like super smart,
Yeah.
how I use the money and how I
Yeah.
apply to things.
Which is amazing because even if we whatever we have and we've spoken about, there's a huge difference between keep showing your work and selling your work. And I think there's a season that you're more focused on showing your work, whereas there is a season where you're more focused on selling your work,
Yeah,
because of course to keep going you need to have that money. And I think it's super smart of you to know that right now, uh, where you are and where you want to be. And it these are quite, I think these are really great tips, because um it is very very smart of you to think these things, and well thought submissions really do better, for sure. And I just want to say I wish many more grants to you, for sure. $10,000 grants to you as well.
yeah. One day.
Very soon, I'm sure about that. At the tangent that you're going, your work is going, I'm very sure that's happening soon.
Oh, thank you. We will celebrate together.
I'll have to fly down to you. Perfect. Thank you so much for being so kind and sharing so much. I just feel like we just started the interview and we're already 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
So even when I feel like I could ask you a million more questions, I'll have to hold it here. But I have one of my favorite segments still left, and I want to do that. So I'm going to ask you a set of questions. It's a quick rapid fire. You have to be very quick. You have to give me something that comes to your mind instantly.
Okay.
And it's very fun, formal, informal questions. We just want to know you better.
Okay. Okay.
Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, let's do this. One thing you want to convey through your work in the arts.
I want to surround my viewers with like beauty. Like I want to
Yeah.
surround them with freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish
Love
I
that.
can like share with them how I'm feeling when I'm working in my work. That's why I'm
Yeah.
increasing the scale, and even though the answer was the wrong one, I'm thinking all the time in
Yeah.
circumvallations and huge ones because
That's what's been on your
yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Okay. What's that one word that describes you the best?
Lately I think that obsessive. Yeah, I don't know if it's
If
a good
you
one, but
No, there's no good and bad. There's only the word. If you could have a studio anywhere in the world, where would it be?
honestly, I'm so happy here. Like with my kid around when I'm working. He's starting pre-K in fall, and I'm a little bit
Okay.
afraid that how it's gonna work for me. I need his
Yeah.
mess for. I mean, I'm so productive with him around, so I
Oh my
kind of
God.
like.
Amazing. That's fair. Your biggest source of inspiration.
I think that my daily life, yeah, like my art is so cathartic. So
Yeah.
as much as I'm feeling or I'm tired, exhausting, headache, and everything,
Yeah.
that's why inspire me to. Uh, of course, I have like people who inspire me and
Yeah.
everything, but I honestly I think that lately or for the last 4 years, my the motto of my work is to keep myself like alive
Yeah.
and sane.
Which
Uh,
is fair, which is absolutely
it's like
fair.
maybe like self love or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Who is your favorite women artist? Can you name anyone from any point of time?
I have so many favorite artists, especially that now I have so many friends artists. I I love so many of them. But
Okay, you can say a few.
yeah, I start following lately Joana Vasconcelos.
You'll
She's
have to send me all those links now.
okay, yeah, she's a Portuguese artist. She's textile
Okay.
and she does site specific installations.
Okay.
And I'm so in love with her art. It's super
I can't wait to see her
inspiring
work.
me a lot lately. I don't know her like personally. We didn't talk yet, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that we are gonna become friends as soon as
I'm
I
sure.
can get her attention.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.
Yeah,
Okay.
Suchitra Matai is also like
Suchitra Mitrat.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. I
I
think we
think that
will
you
have
know
on the.
her.
She's the one who does these mixed media ones, right?
With
The
scarf and yeah.
I think we'll have on the podcast. I've sent. I'm talking to her, and I hope I can have on the podcast soon. So
Yay!
that would be amazing.
Yeah, she's really nice.
Yeah, I love her work.
Mhm.
Ever since I found about her work, I'm just making that possible. So yeah,
Yay.
we'll have her on the podcast hopefully soon.
Um,
Okay, your go-to person when you are in need of advice or you're in trouble.
my partner,
Yeah,
definitely. And then the three sisters who are behind me. I mean, like, because we are nine,
younger. Yeah,
the ones that are who are closer to me in
just
age, they're like,
yeah.
we are like four
You
supporters.
have a gang of your own.
Yeah, yeah. They're in Chile, I really miss them, but they're being like really supportive in motherhood
Yeah.
and everything.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. If you were to meet younger Carmen today, what advice would you give her?
Have fun and keep working. Yeah.
Oh, love that. Amazing. Carmen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the lovely time. Thank you for
Thank
coming on the
you.
podcast. I am so grateful to have you here. And I'm so glad I learned so much more about you. And finally we got to speak here. And I just want to say a big thank you for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you again.
I hope it was as good as for you as it was for us and for our listeners, I'm sure.
Same
Okay,
to you.
but I have just one last thing before we
Mhm.
go. Is there anything that you're working on that you would like to share with our audience right now? Any new project, any new exhibit, anything that you feel that you would want to share with us by the time this airs? And people who are listening, where can they find you, support you, follow you, probably look at your work, buy your work?
You can definitely find me on Instagram. There's when
Yeah.
I'm sharing all my daily adventures at my studio with my hair around. So yeah, I'm at Desbordado. I'm super bad spelling, so please take a look where Charuka is
I will
gonna.
I will add all the links to your profiles. Don't worry about
Yeah,
that.
thank you. Because if for sure I'm gonna mess up. And also, yeah, my website carmenmardones.com and my mailing list. I think that is like a great way to
Great,
like
great.
follow what I'm doing and where I'm showing and everything. So I will waiting there
Uh,
for you.
Perfect, guys. If you want to, I highly suggest you go and check out the show notes of this episode where you can find and see some of Carmen's work. And you can also find the links to her website, to her Instagram and her ongoing shows that we're going to link. So just head on to www.us2husproject.com/podcast and you can find the show notes on the episode page of this. Again, thank you so much for your time, Carmen. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for coming, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Charuka. You too. Have a good day. I'm gonna have a good night.
Yeah, you will have a good night. I'll have a great day then.
Yes.
Perfect. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. You can find all the details and links mentioned in the show notes of this episode available on www.arts2heartsproject.com. And if you like this episode, please don't forget to tag us in your stories and leave us a review here on iTunes or any of your favorite platforms. It really helps us to keep the show going. Thank you so much. I'm sending you lots of love and I can't wait to be back here soon again. Bye.